Welcome back. We're just doing some seeding at the moment, and right now we're seeding wheat, and I'll show you what I'm planning on doing here. So paddock 75 here, which is the one we're seeding right now, we're putting wheat in. 77 we'll also put wheat in, and then we'll go up, and at 43 here we'll put canola, which can also be planted, and we're going to do 75 and 59 in sunflowers. I always like sunflowers growing, they look nice when they bloom, having the flowers. But if we look here, we can't actually plant the sunflowers until March, and it's September now. So we're going to do the wheat and the canola now, and the sunflowers in March. Just working away. One of the things I like about the later versions of Farming Simulator is they actually have the pipe here running from the seed hopper at the front of the tractor to the actual planter at the back. I know a lot of the earlier versions of the game didn't have that big hose that runs down from one to the other like that, down one side of the tractor. Now, I'm using this view here to do my seeding, simply because otherwise I just cannot tell where I have seeded and where I haven't. It's very, very hard to tell, and in fact, I think if memory serves me right, it's even harder to tell where I've been with the roller when I'm trying to roll the seeds in. So, yeah, I must admit, my eyesight isn't the best in the world, by a long chalk, but I do find it very, very hard, and this is probably one of the reasons that I do a lot of dairy farming rather than crops. I just cannot tell for the life of me where I've been and where I haven't. I find it very, very difficult to tell that difference. I don't know, maybe you can tell the difference very, very easily on camera. It'd be interesting to see when I play it back later whether it's easy to tell or not, but certainly I find it very difficult to tell when I'm seeding here, and as I said, when I'm trying to roll the seed in, I find it even more difficult to tell. Going this way is not quite so hard, the way the light's shining at the moment. You notice I have got all the lights on the track, the spotlights and everything, even though it's like 9 o'clock in the morning, because I think it is a bit easier to see where I have planted and where I haven't with the light shining on it. I'll just show you what I mean here. If I turn the lights off for a moment, see there, it's just impossible to tell, so I turn them on and it makes it a wee bit easier, but it's still not easy. And I think that was actually one of the reasons I decided to go into dairy farming rather than crop farming. But with over 100 cows on this farm, I definitely have to be doing some crops as well. On all the farms I do a few crops as well, simply because if you only do, the game's not set up for dairy farming really. It's more of a crop farming game, the way Farming Simulator is set up and the way it's always been set up. And if you're doing dairy farming like I'm doing, there's just not enough to keep you busy all the time, so you end up doing a few paddocks of crops. Even if you wouldn't in real life, like a dairy farmer would probably buy in any straw and things they need rather than trying to grow crops to get their own. They just buy it in. I think that's where I turn, is it? Oh, I just cannot tell. Oh, no, I think I'm right off the track now, I think. Yeah, I think I've missed a big bit there actually. Go back and try from here. Yeah, they'd probably buy in their straw and things that they need rather than growing it themselves, but I grew up myself in this game I think I've missed it again, just to keep me busy with more things to do. Right, yes, there it is, I had missed a spot too. So I think I've got it now. It's just so hard to tell. So generally what I do is when I think I've finished seeding a field, or when I think I've finished rolling one after seeding it, I just go to this view up here and I zoom in as much as it allows me, just to see that there's no spots left, and no, I've got it all so far, so that's all good. Yeah, so we're making progress here. Now, I thought I had found another really, really cool mod for this farm, and it turns out I hadn't, and I'll explain why. So, I'd found an English Land Rover, English police Land Rover, which I thought, yeah, that'll be perfect. Stick on the side of the road with a with a radar attached. Oh, have I still got... Oh, no, that's alright. That's okay, we're alright. I was going to put a speed camera beside it so that where the cop was parked on the side of the road, there was a speed camera, so if you actually went too fast past the cop, it really did work. And I was more than happy with the police car mod that I'd found. And have I accidentally opened the lid on my cedar? Oh look, I have too. What button did I press to do that, I wonder? I'll close cover in. There we go. I had pressed the wrong button accidentally. So that's okay. It's fixed now. But the problem is that the speed camera I'd found, that puts the money back straight into your own pocket. So whoever the owner of the camera is, which is determined by who puts it there, like in a multiplayer game, gets the money. So basically, the mod turned out to be designed for when you play multiplayer, because whoever placed the camera would get the money. But since this is a single player game, I would be the one placing the camera, and therefore I wouldn't really be fined at all for going too fast past it. I remember in about FS 17, I was playing on this English map, and it had a nice straight piece of road. It was just so easy to go down very, very fast. So I put a speed camera on there, so anytime I actually went too fast down this stretch of road, it would actually ping me and cost me money, just to remind me to slow down a bit. You know, almost like real life, really. Speed cameras and things, just to remind you to slow down a bit. But that's alright. So yes, we're just about to finish seeding this paddock full of wheat. Then we'll do the next one across full of wheat as well. And as I said, we'll then go up and do the back one in canola. But we cannot do the other two on the other side of the farm track to this one in sunflowers yet, because we have to wait until, I think it was January, to plant the sunflowers. But yeah, it's okay, I don't mind waiting. Yes. Just along here. Well, I'm not going to have to go the whole way up with the next road, because I've done down to there from the looks. So it's all good. It's got some at this end still to get. So yes, we're slowly getting there. What I probably could do is hire a worker to plant my fields, and they wouldn't miss, or hopefully they wouldn't miss a bit. In fact, perhaps they'd miss more bits than even I will, I don't know, but the hired workers aren't always good. But they cost too much money. I just don't have enough money at the moment. As you can see, I've got $12,980 there, and I probably should put some of that on my overdraft, on my bank loan. I'm not yet, just because I don't know how much seed I'm going to need to plant all these paddocks, and I might end up having to buy some more seed yet. But at the end of the day, because it only charges you interest on your loan at midnight in this game, so I'll pay some off the loan once it gets dark tonight, before I sort of skip through the night. But you know, I lose nothing by leaving a few more hours to pay it, as long as it's still done before midnight. So I've got one more bit up there still to do, and then I think is this paddock finished. Once I've done that little spot up there that I saw. Where was it? Somewhere up here. There it is, just past it. You can see my big ditch there that I put all that ditch in there, and it wasn't on the map, and I put that there. If you saw my farm tour, I'll show it to you then, just to make it a bit more of a challenge. Look at that, I don't think I've missed any of that field, so that's great. Let's go on to the next field now then. Very narrow gate here. Oh, okay, we have a problem, Houston. We have a problem. Let's see, look at that. We have a solution to said problem as well. Okay. So then this paddock here, and that's another reason I put that ditch in there. Because on this particular map, the hedges don't have collisions on them, which is annoying as far as doing the baling goes. You've got to make sure your bales aren't going to roll to the hedge and into a river or something where you've got paddocks that aren't flat. But it made it too easy to skip that narrow gate with combine harvesters and the like and just drive through the hedge there. So putting that ditch where I did certainly put a stop to people doing that. Now we'll do 2 or 3 headers all the way around this field and then start doing rows after that. It's funny because I was actually looking forward to doing a video and doing some milk collecting and things on it, because I've got this awesome milk truck to go and collect all the, as I said on this map, unlike my Irish on Valley Springs, I've got an auto milk selling mod loaded, so the milk just automatically sells at midnight every night. On this map here I don't have that mod loaded, so I actually have to collect the milk from each individual paddock that I've got cows in, take it to the one big collection tank that I've got on the farm, and then bring the milk tanker to go and collect the milk. Now I will show you my milk tanker in a second. I'll do a jump to it. I'll just show you where it is. Go vehicles, and then where am I? Oh, it's down here. Here it is. Enter vehicle. So this is my milk tanker right here. Normally I choose white truck cabs when I have milk tankers, because I think it looks more like a milk tanker with a white cab. But this blue Volvo here, this is almost the exact same paint job as I've got on my truck on Euro Truck Simulator. So just the idea is this is my truck from Euro Truck Simulator. Although, and that's why I've got that one. I'll jump back into my Fiat now, continue doing the seating here. Now, I had an idea about perhaps in a future video at some stage driving that milk truck and then actually swapping games kind of like partway through the video into Euro Truck Simulator. I don't actually play Euro Truck Simulator or American Truck Simulator too often nowadays, and the reason I don't is I find, because I suffer from sleep apnea, I find that the sounds of the vehicles actually put me to sleep, so I can't play those games for too long, because it has the yawning sound effect in that game and the screen goes black for a second when you're getting tired if you don't pull over and rest. And I find that I actually really fall asleep for real and start yawning for real when I'm playing those games. Even the farming simulator, after about an hour of listening to the tractors working, it makes me quite tired. And there has been a few times in real life where I've been playing farming simulator here, going along ploughing a paddock or something, and I obviously fall asleep but still holding my steering wheel and still with the throttle on, and then the vibration on the steering wheel wakes me up when I hit something big. So like I'll be going along here ploughing for an example, fall asleep, drive through a couple of hedges, and the tractor won't stop until I hit a lamppost or another car or a shed or something like that, and then the vibrations coming through my steering wheel after I've hit something big, it wakes me up, and I've got a big long strip of ploughed land halfway across the map that I never intended to have or anything, which is another good reason for me not to use autosave. So yeah, in this game I choose not to use autosave because sometimes I do make big mistakes like that are definitely not intentional. And I suppose the only downside of not using autosave is it's possible your game could crash, which this game does occasionally crash, and not very often, but occasionally. And then whatever work you've done since your last save, you've got to redo. Because since I enjoy playing the game anyway, it's not really a biggie for me if I have to redo something that I've already done. I mean, in all reality, sometimes when I'm recording these videos, I actually don't save at the end of the video, so everything I did when recording the video is actually not done on the farm. I've got to go back and redo it. And the reason for that is sometimes I have things set up especially for the video which I don't necessarily want that bit of my farm to change. So for an example, and I can think of a really good example here, is that I did a video where I had some trees growing along beside a creek, and I came along with a chainsaw on the video and cut all these trees down. Now, I actually planted those trees there, especially for the video, already fully grown, and when chopped them down, especially for the video, didn't save my game after doing all of that when I recorded. So, as far as the game was concerned, oh, I've done this strip, haven't I? Right? Yes, I have. Okay, I've gone right around the paddock once now. Now let's do a second header. As I said, we'll do about 3 headers around this paddock, and then we will start doing strips after that. So yeah, this video I will be saving after this recording, but depending on what work I'm doing, I don't always. Sometimes the recording is especially for the sake of making the video, and then I don't save so that I can go back and redo that after doing the video. Am I still on my... No, I'm way off it, aren't I? Way off it. I've missed a whole lot there. Here we go, now we've got it. Now, I have to apologise to 3 people at the moment actually. AK, Fury Machine Gaming, and Driver. What I try and do is, whenever I try and make sure I'm all up to date with my video watching before I record a video of my own. And I know that all 3 of those people have put a video out that I haven't yet watched. It's come out in the last 12 to 18 hours, because 18 hours ago I know I was all up to date with my video watching. I'd watched every single video that was on my to watch later list, and then all 3 of them dropped a video, so I'm 1 video behind with all 3 of them at the moment, and I apologise. As I said, I normally try and make sure I'm up to date with my watching before I record, but right now I knew that I had time to record a video before I have to go outside and do some more work out there, and so I will catch up on your videos in the next 12 hours or so. I probably won't be able to catch up on them this afternoon, so I'll be working out in the front yard, and I don't get good enough video internet reception out there to be able to watch the video as I'm working. But I want to I need to oil the leather on my wife's car seats, because they're getting a wee bit dry and they're meant to be oiled annually, and obviously whoever owned the car before, I don't think ever oiled them probably, but yeah, when you've got leather seats in your car, you're meant to oil them annually. So I have to oil the front seats of my wife's car, and I also need to re-blacken the top of mine. And I've bought some stuff that's designed for suede shoes. I was speaking to the guy at the shoe shop, and I said, you know, what do you use for cleaning shoes that are because it's not a leather top of mine, it's a fabric top. So I said, you know, what would you use for cleaning fabric shoes and things? He said, oh, you'd use a suede shoe cleaner for that one. And I said, so what I'm actually trying to do is re-nourish the convertible top of my car, and it's a fabric top, not a leather one or anything. And he said, oh yeah, definitely a suede shoe thing should do that perfectly. So I'm going to give it a try, because it's very hard to get convertible top cleaner and refreshener. And yeah, my convertible top, it looks black when the car's on its own, but when I park it next to my wife's, it looks decidedly grey rather than black. So it definitely needs a good freshen up, and so that's what I'm going to try and do with this suede boot stuff that I've got, and see if that does the trick. But I thought, well, I'll just get a video out of the way first. Now, interestingly enough, it's Saturday here right now that I'm recording this, and next weekend is Easter, so Easter starts on Friday, and then for people in New Zealand, the following weekend is Anzac Day, so you get a 4-day weekend this coming weekend for Easter, then a 3-day weekend the weekend after that for Anzac Day. So what I have done, oops, and this is where I've mucked up, so I'm going to have to fix this bit. So anyway, what I've done is I've taken the 3 days in between those 2 long weekends off on annual leave. So I have 4 more days of work, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday next week, and then I have 10 days in a row off. And during that time, I want to watch some YouTube videos. I also want to try and get at least 2 videos of my own out during that 10-day break. I might even try and aim to get 3 out. So I know that quite often my videos end up being approximately 1 a week. I mean, I don't have a schedule that I stick to, so sometimes it's a wee bit less than a week, sometimes it's a wee bit more, but it normally works out to be about 1 video a week that I get to release. But yes, in a week's time from now, I've got 10 days in a row off work. I hope to get at least 2, maybe 3 videos out in that time, because I want to get a bit more work done on this new English farm of mine. Well, new old farm. As I said, this is the one that I spent thousands of hours on before I moved to Valley Spring. This was my home on Farming Simulator before Valley Spring, but I have gone back to it and I'm really enjoying it. I have no regrets whatsoever about going back to it. I haven't deleted my Valley Spring game save, so I'm sure I will be going back to that at some point. But yeah, I'm just really enjoying having gone back to this farm again, and I've kept most things pretty much exactly the same as how I had it when I used to play it, with the exception of the farmhouse. I changed the farmhouse to have a much better looking one. I have upgraded a few things where there have been new mods out in 4 or 5 years since I was playing this farm last, sort of thing. So, well, it seems like it was 4 or 5 years. Maybe it wasn't quite that long, but it certainly seems, oh, it must have been at least 3 years, possibly 4, since I've been on this farm. But yeah, there's been a lot of new mods out in that time, so there's a couple of things I have actually improved on this farm because there's new mods to make it possible to improve in those areas. But then there's also a lot of areas where I've just left it the same as I had it for originality's sake. So one example of that is I've chosen not to download the animal extension mod, which is why I don't have, well, I do have a calving barn on this farm. I do have calves, but my calves are visually the same size as my fully grown cows. I also don't have bulls on this farm, and because I wanted a couple of bulls, I've just chosen a different breed of cow for my bulls, so that they look visually different from my cows. If I go here, I think I can do it from here. Oh, well, I'm here actually. Let's just check how my paddock's going. Oh, yep, that's looking good. I'm getting there, but if I go there, geez, I've got Holstein for all my cows, and Holstein for my cows, my calves, but Angus for my bulls. So the bulls, big black beasts like that, but they're actually cows, but I'm treating them as bulls. And I deliberately made them much younger, so they're only 1 month old, and that way they won't produce milk, because obviously I don't want bulls to be producing milk. And in if I go to my calving paddock, wherever that is, somewhere up here, calving barn, because they're also only 1 month old, so they're not producing milk, but all my other cows are producing some milk, as you can see there. So I might call that quits now, because this video's already just over 20 minutes long, and I like to keep my videos nice and short. But I will catch up with you. As I said, I'll have another video out in about a week's time. I'll try and get 2 or 3 out in that 10 days I've got off work. Thanks very much. Bye.